Now shifting over to Ethereum, now that we've got Bitcoin out of the way, as I mentioned earlier, the situation is very similar here. We hit the 1.618 extension. We actually exceeded it. We should not have broken down below the 1.0 extension here. That 1.0 falls at about 2882, 2884, something like that. We have clearly broken below that. So that's a very clear sign that this pink magenta looking ABC is the operative pattern in hand. So while there's a small chance that this is a 1, 2, that's a 3 deep fourth wave, and we may have a fifth wave bounce up, it's getting less and less likely just because of the shape of this thing. So the optimist bullish pattern would be that you have this as the fourth wave, and maybe you have that final fifth wave higher. If we see that final push higher, and then we see a clear corrective pullback, that would be a buy alert potential. You know, I mentioned this in the Bitcoin update as well. There's a chance that this thing still salvages, but the lower we go here, the more and more likely it makes this alternate red pattern, and the less likely this green pattern gets. And as I mentioned, when we look at the diagonal trend line here, you have an A wave that was 3 waves, B wave that was corrective, and then this pattern here looks like an ending diagonal C wave. You have 5 waves up. They stayed within the channel trend lines, and we've broken down below that. So that's a clear sign that we're having a reversal in our general trend. Bigger picture, this chart, of course, will be available in the description below, so be sure to check out the link to it. Similar story with Bitcoin. We had an expanded flat. Well, that's the red interpretation, the red pattern. Red, purple, same difference here. The red pattern would call this entire thing a first wave down. I see that as very unlikely at the moment just because we've come so stretched. So purple is my primary, and it's looking like, again, it's between purple and green. Where would our ideal retracement point be if this really is what's going on? Well, we had our A wave here that ended on June of 2021. We had a bounce, expand B wave. So if we take this Fibonacci extension here, and well, we extend to the 1.0, that would put us at 1900. That could be a potential bottom for Bitcoin. However, C waves can often hit other significant Fibonacci numbers, and our ideal retracement point does fall around 1700. So I'm going to shift to our big picture to give us a look at that whole thing. Shift to Ethereum here, get rid of the MACD real quick, and well, based on our standard Elliott wave Fibonacci pinball targets, when we lay that out, 1713 is the 1.0 extension. That would be the ideal retracement point from the 1.618 target that we almost hit in our third wave. So 1713 is probably a lower bound target if we do fall harder. And well, there's a chance we go all the way down to 1100. I'm not completely convinced we're going to go that low. Just like Bitcoin, you know, we've bounced so high. I think the overall sentiment is high. The bull market is not dead, so no reason to panic. Shifting back to this closer up chart again, this is the 4-hour logarithmic chart. Well, what I expect to see here, well, I've got a lot of junk going on here. I'm going to delete all this stuff because it's just cluttering up the screen. The shape looks better for Ethereum than Bitcoin, but like I said, because we already broke support, purple's looking more and more likely, and the more we drop, the less likely green gets. And well, once we break 2175, that's about where our bottom was on the 24th, or the 22nd, whichever it was. That would immediately invalidate green, and I would expect us to fall again to the 1900. That would be one of the ideal retracement points. And I'm actually going to draw out a Fibonacci extension based on the purple pattern. So this is based on the beginning being somewhere around here, and this spike down on December 3rd being our first wave. If that is the case, and our second wave bounced up to here in typical diagonal fashion, we actually did go low enough for this to be over, but I don't see a clear fourth wave bounce and then another fifth wave. So the jury is out on this. The jury is out. The verdict is out on this. Once you show the retrace here, 0.618 is a common extension for the fifth wave in a diagonal. So a lot of signs, a lot of confluence in this region. You know, you see the two thick red lines. That would probably be your BTFD point right there. Again, you want to be greedy when others are fearful. No matter how sharply we may pull back, that does not at all in any way indicate that the bull market is over. As I mentioned, we didn't quite go low enough for our fourth wave in the big picture. So there's a chance we touch that area again. If that's the case, I'll be definitely highlighting some strategies and giving you guys warnings on what to expect next. Again, in the short term, let's see if this turns around and gives us a fifth wave up. That could give us a diagonal fifth wave up. Otherwise, we should see a very quick resolution to this. This thing could fall right through the floor very quick. That would be a good thing. Am I sadistic? No. Am I a masochist? No. If this thing falls through and breaks the support, again, it makes our analysis much easier. We will know with much more confidence that we are in purple.